As more people go online to look for love, the FTC is warning that romance scams are rising. Fraudsters often find their victims through a dating site, app, or social media. More than 21,000 Americans reported falling for these scams last year, according to a new report. They lost a total of $143 million in the process. That's up from 8,500 reports and $33 million lost in 2015. This comes amid growing privacy concerns surrounding personal information on the internet. CBS News contributor and Wired editor-in-chief Nicholas Thompson is here just in time for Valentine's Day. So why are these dating app scams increasing?
I think it's a couple of reasons. One, I think there are organized gangs or groups that have figured out how successful they are. It's like anything on the internet. There's a kind of scam. People learn how to do it. They get good at it. They make lots of money. And then eventually we learn what it is and we counter it. And then a new scam develops. So it's partly that. And then partly it's dating sites, dating apps. They prey on our emotional vulnerabilities. It's a situation where we've given up lots of data. We're emotionally vulnerable, and so therefore we're susceptible marks. So that's why this is growing.
Even being a mark, though, I can't imagine falling in love or even hard for somebody who I've never met or never even talked to, Nick.
I know, and that's the way most of these scams work, where somebody approaches you on a site. Wherever they approach you, you start to type, and then you develop an emotional relationship without meeting in person or even talking. But that absolutely does happen, and it's going to happen.
So how do I know I'm talking to you?
How do you know you're talking to me?
Or not a scammer?
Yeah.
Well, the best way is if you can figure out a friend of a friend or someone who can verify their identity. That's the gold standard. If you can't do that, you look for other clues, right?
What do you mean a friend of a friend? If I'm talking to somebody I don't know, how do I?
Well, if it's connected, so a lot of these dating apps, you connect through your Facebook account, and it'll say you have these mutual friends, and you can call.
Okay.
But that's hard. So what you do is you look for clues in the conversation. You see, does it actually seem like they're a real person? Does it seem like the person they say they are? If you ask them a question, do they give a response that seems genuine? Somebody was trying to target me last night, and so I was DMing them back, trying to figure out, and they said they were based in Alabama.
Romantically?
Target you how, Nick?
Don't you get these all the time? So somebody goes into my direct messages on Facebook. It's clearly a stock photo image of a woman, and they say, hello, what are you doing? And normally I just block and move on. This one I reversed image searched. So I took the image, I downloaded it on my phone, I uploaded it. You could see it was on all sorts of sites across the internet. So someone had clearly taken a photograph of a young woman from the internet and put it on a Twitter account and then was DMing people. So I DM'd back, and the person said they were in Alabama, and pretty soon they were using not particularly American grammar. It was clear English was not their first language. So it was kind of an obvious scam.
Right.
And that's not what people are falling for. They're falling for more difficult scams to figure out.
And they said they were a Clemson fan, which was a total...
It was just impossible.
Giveaway.
The average person apparently uses 40 apps on their phone. So what do consumers need to do in order to make sure we use these apps safely?
Right. I think you want to use reputable apps, apps that you've heard of, that your friends have used, that people have had good experiences. And remember, online dating is a great thing. Many of these apps develop real relationships and marriages.
Right.
So reputable apps, you want to make sure you have good password hygiene. Right? Don't repeat the same passwords. That will prevent you from getting hacked and preventing breaches. And then you have to make sure you kind of step out before you get too emotionally engaged in a conversation.
But I know someone who was on Match.com, which is a very reputable site. This is an older individual, and she was targeted, developed a nice friendly back and forth with somebody, and then that person started to ask for money. Someone had fallen ill in the family. This happens to a lot of people.
I think the best advice is that if somebody starts to ask for money or it starts to feel weird, stop and ask a trusted friend, show them the conversation, explain it to them, pull yourself out of that emotional vortex, and then you're much less likely to get
Quite
targeted.
often they're embarrassed, though, to say that.
Yeah,
Well, that's the other reason why people are such vulnerable marks in this.
Just to be clear, though, something like Match.com has screening procedures, make sure that people can't catfish you, whereas what you're talking about happening on Facebook through Messenger is a much more seedy kind of non-screened kind of thing.
But you can create fake accounts on whatever service you want, and you can pull pictures, you can pull information from other people, and you can create fake accounts, absolutely.
Are regulators on top of this? We mentioned the FTC is warning users.
FTC's on it today. Yeah. I mean, they should really be working on this, absolutely.
Okay, well, I have a boring Facebook page compared to DMing people back.
I don't look at the DMs on Facebook, so.
Only when I'm prepping for segments like this.
Yeah, we always keep you working, even on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you. Good to see you. And we should also mention Wired's March cover story, Welcome to Mirror World, is now online. It's intriguing.